Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome you all to London, those of you that live outside. It's a great honour for our region to host this conference. I don't want to patronise anybody or give you any platitudes, but obviously you're going to be the people in the years ahead that are going to be taking up the baton in this union, which is a proud, democratic and fighting union, and carrying that baton forward. My region in particular, I think Ross and we've got several people, Joanne Parry, have all been involved in the young member section and helped to build it. I have to say that you people now are coming in the middle of a massive period of reaction, where the employers are on the offensive because of a recession and because of the economic situation. And it's vitally important, not only in the railway industry, but right across industries, that we get young people involved in the trade union movement. I mean, my daughter's 23, and she works in a place that's not unionised. She doesn't get a lunch break, although she's entitled to one by law. I've tried to get her to join the union, but unsuccessful up to now. Maybe one of you would have better results. But that's the difference, because she doesn't get any overtime payments. She works over hours every day. She doesn't get any travelling time because she has to travel to work. Sick pay, she doesn't get any of that. And holiday pay, she gets it at a less rate. Now, we, from a unionised background, we take all these things for granted. But we can't take them for granted, because they've only been won through struggle. And the generation before my generation's won these things. And my generation's fighting to keep hold of them. And your generation will have to fight to improve them as well. Because there's one thing, for working class people, all our victories are transitory, because we win them and the bosses try to claw it back slowly, and in periods like this, rather quickly. I have to say at the minute, we've got this ridiculous situation. We've got over 1 million young people unemployed, and they're bringing in laws to make people work until they drop. The pension age is getting raised before you can get a pension, and young people are being kept out of jobs by people who should be retired and enjoying their old age with their grandchildren and children. And it's a ridiculous situation. What we're facing on London Underground is tax on station staff jobs. They're even threatening to bring in driverless trains. They're threatening to de-staff all the stations, and even the service control are under attack. Maintenance and fleet, they're going to make massive reductions, and this is all with a plan to reduce their costs and increase their profits. And what it is basically, it's a mini McNulty report, because if you're all working on the main line or outside London Underground, you'll have heard about the McNulty report, which basically said the privatisation's been an absolute disaster. It costs 4 times as much to run as the nationalised railway did, and comes up with a bizarre conclusion that the answer to this is they have more privatisation. They've done a study, and the British railways are come bottom of a European league table, because most of the railways are nationalised over there, or at least they've got some control by the government. Our railway is a privateer's paradise, where people are raking in profits subsidised by the government and the taxpayer. And McNulty, who was paid £250,000 to come up with this report, give the government exactly what they wanted to give them. And that's what you're going to be faced with in the next few years on this job. And I reckon it's going to be up to people like you, organising in the workplace, that's going to be able to stop that. And how are we going to be able to stop it? Well, there's a few things. There's getting the public on our side. That's always worth doing. There's building alliances with users groups, like disabled groups and passengers groups. But at the end of the day, it's really going to take more than that. It's going to take more than handing out leaflets and postcards to stop the attacks that are coming to us. And what it's going to mean is a massive campaign of industrial action, coordinated right across the grades, right across the regions, right across the companies, and the whole of the UK. That's the only way that they're going to stop them. We're going to stop the McNulty report coming in and being implemented. Because if we can't make it more costly to implement than they're going to save from it, then they're going to roll ahead and bring this into operation. That's what they're going to do. And we as trade union activists have got to get out and stop that. Now see, we've got the organising department here. They're doing a fantastic job with ununionised workers. We're in the process of organising Boris Bikes on London Underground. That'll be a bit of a coup, won't it? Boris Johnson now has to deal with the RMT. But we talk to people there who have never been involved in a trade union before. And they're coming up like things and saying, well, I haven't got paid any overtime for a shift I've done. Can I claim that back? Can the union help me to do that? And that's how basic that we've got to get. Yes, of course, you have to get that overtime that paid you. And And when people aren't in a union, they're not sure about these things. So you're going to be the ambassadors for us to go out for this new generation and educate people and tell them that they might have those rights at the minute, but those rights have been fought for and they've been battled for, and the bosses are intent on getting them back and taking them off us. One thing we've learned on London Underground is that the bosses have now got contingency plans for 24 and 48-hour strikes. We used to be able to put on 1 or 2 day strikes, and they would cave in, they would give us what they want, or we'd at least get them around the negotiating table. We have a different story now. We had four 1-day strikes over station staff cuts on London Underground. I have to say we were supported by the TSSA in those strikes, and they were very effective. Unfortunately, it didn't get us the desired result. When we had our activists sacked, as Ross Marshall alluded to earlier on, what we did is we said, okay, you sack our activists, we're going to give you a week of absolute chaos. We put on a week at a time. And that brought them to the negotiating table very quickly. And they got their job back. They all got their jobs back, every one of those activists that were sacked. So that's the way forward. If we're going to go into the industrial action and defend our jobs, we've got to give them something serious to contemplate. We've got to put down a serious measure that'll make the bosses think, and we've got to be prepared to carry it out as well. So that's the message I would like to give to this conference. I'm delighted that you've all come here. It's a massive turnout again, and well done to the organisers. You've got a lot of people here. You'll be carrying the torch forward. Hopefully you'll go out and inspire not only the young people in your workplaces, but other people as well, and tell them they're not only fighting for themselves, they're fighting for the generations that come after them, their children and their grandchildren. We've got decent terms and conditions on our industry by and large. It can be improved, but we've got decent ones. But what we've got to do now is make sure that this government and their lackeys, and the bosses and the privateers, don't strip away everything that we fought for. So I'd like to thank you all for coming here, and you can be 100% sure of this. The London Transport region, and indeed all the regions around the south east and indeed the country, will be right behind your movement. We'll be standing there behind you, supporting you, giving every support that you want, and we'll be making sure that the things that we fought for in the past won't be taken away by these people now.